The federal government will commit an extra $41 million to TAFE over the next 6 years. The figures are part of the employment white paper released by Treasurer Jim Chalmers today, which will become the framework for the Albanese government's job strategy. The employment roadmap will act as a guide for the government as it formulates policy strategy on a range of fronts.
Getting productivity moving again and also addressing some of the barriers which are preventing people from grabbing the jobs and opportunities.
The government will also establish a national skills passport, making it easier for workers to demonstrate their formal qualifications. It will include 5 main themes.
Full employment, secure jobs and strong wages, skills now and into the future.
The Treasurer there speaking earlier in the day in Adelaide. For more on this, let's get some reaction from business. The Chief Executive of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Andrew McKellar, is with me. Andrew, what do you make of some of these initiatives? 9 new policies, among them these new centres of excellence, which really, as I understand it, provide more cohesion between the TAFE level and university level education. Does that sort of thing make sense to you?
Well, good afternoon, Kieran. Great to be with you. Look, I think this is an important strategy, no doubt about it at all. And I think, clearly having that objective, to keep the economy at or as close as possible to full employment and pushing to lift the speed limits on the economy, to really, boost productivity in the future, to get stronger investment in skills and to encourage people who may not always have the opportunity to participate in the labour force to get more of them involved and working for longer. Those are all things which are pushing in the right direction. So I think that's the positive side of what we've seen today.
Now, in terms of these ideas like a bachelor's degree for tradies, is that the sort of feedback you get from your members, that they want to see the technical skills absolutely remain so crucial? You and I have spoken about the shortages in that space for years now, but they want that combined with the conceptual or the academic side of things in some cases as well, given changes in energy technology, digital and so on.
Well, we've seen those sorts of trends in other professions over many years. Jobs that were, quite different, 20, 30 years ago. I mean, nursing, for example, you now have to come to that profession through a university qualification. I think an integration between practical education, vocational education and training and other areas of tertiary education, breaking down some of those barriers, recognising that sort of artificial distinctions between what was previously blue collar, what was white collar, those sorts of terms really don't mean so much in the modern workplace. So, look, I think, lifelong learning, recognition of qualifications along the way, all of these things I think are an important part of the pathway to the future workplace.
The Treasurer is talking about trying to drive down that level of, he calls it a technical definition, that level of unemployment that if it's too low, economists believe drives up inflation. He thinks the government can, through reform, drive that down, things like the National Skills Passport and so on. Do you believe it's achievable? Do you think the government and the RBA are on the same page when it comes to this issue of full employment and what percentage defines full employment?
Well, I think ultimately it has to come back to being the same thing. So I'm not sure that we're changing the definition of full employment, but I think it's got to be about lifting the speed limits in the economy and getting to the point where we are, at a sustainable level of full employment. You can, by all means, seek to lower, the unemployment rate where that is achieved. But you can't have a situation where that's adding back into inflationary pressures or excess demand in the economy. So I think, we've got to make sure that the Reserve Bank and the government are on the same page here, that there is consistency in the definition and the outcome that they're trying to achieve. That is entirely possible, there's no doubt about it. I don't have any problem at all with trying to lift that speed limit in the economy and sustain that for as long as possible.
Andrew McKellar from the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.